Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to call the Surrey Police Board meeting to order, first one of the year, January 25th, 2023. I would like to, first of all, say Happy New Year to everyone here and everyone watching. As we are all blessed to know that the Surrey Police Board recognizes that our work takes place on the ancestral and unceded territories of the Coast Salish people. And here it is, the Semiahmoo, Katzie, and Kwantlen people. We are blessed to be on these lands. So with that, I will call this meeting to order. And first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please? Moved by Ms. Director Caruana. Second, Director Gill. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. Second is the adoption of the minutes. Can I have a motion, please, to adopt the minutes of November the 30th, 2022? Motion, please. Thank you, Director Center. Second, Director Caruana. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. We have no delegations today. And next is the report. So Chief Lipinski, I will call on you to deliver the first 5 of the reports, if you will, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Perhaps what I'll do is I'll do each report. They are very short. I'll pause if there's any questions or comments, and then I can roll into the next report. So I'll start off with the first one, development of operational and administrative policy. The Police Services Branch requires that we develop policies in these 2 areas and that we file with the provincial government. Some of these policies are required policing standards. The rest are just a guide as far as how we operate day-to-day business, how we do some administrative tasks, etc. So what we did is put a team together, and it took us the better part of a year, but we have 219 policies approved so far. And the sequence of this is the research is done, and then we bring these policies to the governance committee, and then they accept, modify, or send it back to us for further research. And once they approve, as you know, it goes to the board for final approval. Where we got the material for all this is from many other agencies in the Lower Mainland. We also got this from our members who have vast experience. You may recall that we have 26 agencies represented in the SPS. And finally, where we got some of the material in certain cases is from the community. And this has to do a lot with those policies related to community engagement. We have about 20 more policies to go, and we look forward to concluding those in the near future. That is my report on policies. I'll pause now for any questions or comments before I roll into the second report. Madam Chair, you're on mute.
Director Joel, and then Director Modell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question, Chief. There's a lot of policies here, and there's a lot of information here. I guess we expect all of the officers to have a good working knowledge of the policies, and I would assume that they also refer to these policies in their ongoing work. Is there any testing of their knowledge of these policies?
There isn't testing per se, but what happens is as members join the SPS, the experienced officers, 6 weeks of training, and they spend a lot of time going through these policies. The very high-risk policies are discussed in class. Our legal counsel works through some of those or leads some of those discussions. And then what typically happens is every year during refresher training, key policies are reviewed. And some of them, by way of example, is use of force policy or arrest policy. Those that would put the organization at risk if there isn't really good knowledge of those policies. And then we roll forward and amend as appropriate. What we do is, other agencies do, is best practice is every 2 years, we look at all the policies, sometimes 3, to ensure that they are up to date and reflective of the best practices or the community standards. And so it is really an ongoing process, and there is a full-time unit that will be dedicated to that, because as case law changes, as social standards change, and as the provincial government changes social policy, policing policy, we have to reflect that in our operations.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Chief. Just a quick question on timing. You have 219 policies right now. You said approximately 20 more to go. What's your estimated time frame to finish those additional 20 plus up? Thank you.
Yes, we're looking at, right now, we're in the drafting phase, and we're probably looking at 4 to 6 weeks out to have it before the governance committee, and then of course upon approval before the board sometime in February.
Thank you, Director Broussard.
Thanks. Just thank you, Madam Chair. For clarification on just your last point, Chief, so those 20 policies are going to go to governance, or would they go to any of the other committees like HRCC?
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. The HR policies will go to the Human Resource Committee. Anecdotally, I can tell you the last 20 policies are mostly administrative and a lot to do with just the inner workings of the SPS and flow of reports by way of example, etc. So, but those that are relevant to other committees, including finance, of course, they will go to those committees and then onward to the board.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, can I have a motion, please, to receive? Thank you, Director Broussard. Second, Director Gill. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. Second one, please, Chief.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This speaks to our awards and recognition program. We've held a ceremony, the second one, and there is essentially 3 awards: Chief Constable's commendation, a Deputy Chief Constable's commendation, and unit commendations. And I'm happy to report that 16 individuals and 2 units were recognized for their outstanding work in the community. And this has a lot to do with investigations. This has a lot to do with developing the SPS. And there is a number of files as well that essentially were life-saving files. And I'll just highlight one. Our members responded to a stabbing. The individual was stabbed numerous times. 2 of our members, fresh from our experienced officer training, applied the appropriate bandages to stop the bleeding, the tourniquet on the leg because the individual is bleeding heavily from a major artery there. And by the time the emergency services arrived, they had stabilized the individual. And I would suggest to you that a high probability that they saved that individual's life. And I'm very, very proud of the men and women on the front line that are the recipients of these awards. And it was nice to see some of the members of the board attend as well. And certainly the families of these members were present as well. So I'll stop there for any questions or comments.
Any questions, please, directors? Director Cloak?
Thank you for that, Chief. I was in the room and it was a really great acknowledgement of some of the work that's being done. And I'm just so proud and grateful for the work that the officers and the units are doing. Hearing about some of that work firsthand was overwhelming and was really wonderful. And also speaking to the families gave us a lot of insight. And so thank you for having us there. And it was really, really nice. And
Appreciate the comments. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, can I have a motion, please, to receive, directors? Thank you, Director Modell. Director Caruana, second. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Number 3, Chief, hiring diversity.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. A very important report that illustrates our progress to date. The important number today is that we have 331 sworn officers. We have 205 that are on the street. And we also have about 45, 47 that are in various stages of training. Some of these are, of course, at the Justice Institute of BC. And then we have some in the internal workings of the SPS, and that is human resources, IT, training, recruiting, etc. So we are quite robust. Second biggest in BC. And in your materials, you'll see on page 19 of 35, it's the second page of this particular report. It has the breakdown of diversity. And key there is 20% female and 50% culturally diverse backgrounds. And that would include 21% South Asian. It's interesting, given the diversity that we have, and from the 26 agencies from across Canada where they have come from, that we speak 38 languages. I'll stop there, Madam Chair, for any questions or comments.
Thank you, Chief. Directors, is there any questions? Director Joel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just two comments. Firstly, I noted in the report that 18 officers were deployed in January of this year. I believe the HR agreement indicated a total of 35. So did we not hire to the full extent of 35? And then further to that, for the total number of members on the street, I believe the HR plan indicates 225 and you indicated 205. Can you explain the discrepancy?
Yes, that is a reflection of the change in City Council and working with the City of Surrey, of course. We are moving ahead, but at a slower pace as we await the decision from the provincial government. We do take in applications, And we are working towards the HR plan, but understandably, it's at a slower pace.
Good. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Can I see no other questions. Can I have a motion to receive, please, directors? Moved by Director Brassard, second Director Gill. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Number 4, again, Chief, is the strategic plan, Q4.
Yes, thank you. This is Q4, our last reporting out of this year's strategic plan. You recall that we had just a one-year plan that was broken down into 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is building the organization. Number 2 is building our employees. And number 3 would be building or starting to build a community policing model. And under the title of building the organization, our recruiting is strong, as indicated previously. Our IT plan is well on its way. With our employee development, what is very key here is we stood up equity, diversity, and inclusion unit, and we are providing training for all our staff. This includes those that were hired early on, as well as those that are going through the training. Wellness and resiliency, of course, is very important to us, and we have our employee support section that keeps in contact with the front line. Of course, they're exposed to some critical incidents, and that support system through their contacts is very, very helpful and is well received by the front line. The last pillar pertaining to community policing model is the work that was done on the community consultations. And as you recall, there were recommendations. We implemented them as far as looking forward to this month and some of the work that we have done in the community. And 2 strategies that we are building. One is the Indigenous strategy and seeking consultation in the last 3-4 months, and also the youth strategy. And that one has been in the works for about 5 or 6 months. So we've done a lot of training in the community, meaning seminars, gang prevention, and to families. And we have that presence there. And I believe that once we conclude both of those strategies, that obviously will bring it before the board. So I'll stop there and take any questions or comments.
Thank you. Any questions, directors? Seeing none, I'll call for a motion to approve or to receive. Motion, please. Thank you, Director Modell. Second, Director Caruana. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Now, Chief, verbal update, please.
Yes, I only have one item, and that's in relation to the front line. And given the number of hires we have and the deployment on the front line, in some cases, in many cases, the watches, almost 50% are SPS. And so the interaction there on the front line, going to calls together and really doing some good problem solving, really good policing, and when time permits, community engagement. And that is it for my present update, Madam Chair.
Sure. Now we are on to the Executive Director reports. Melissa Granum. First one is the Surrey Police Board per diems. Are you muted, Melissa?
My apologies. This is an annual report that we put out to the public for their awareness around the work of the board and the associated remuneration. I'll just point out that the billings happened the month after the board work is completed. So for your awareness. Any questions on the per diem report?
Seeing none, directors, I'll call for a motion to receive, please. Thank you, Director Caruana. Second, Director Gill. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next is the autumn newsletter. Melissa?
Thank you, Chair Locke. This is, again, for the board's awareness. The Independent Investigation Office puts out updates just with respect to the number of reports it's completed and its caseload. And if you have any questions about the IIO report, I would refer to Chief Lipinski on that.
Any questions, directors? Seeing none, I don't think we need a motion to receive. Thank you. And then number 2 is the launch of the British Columbia Association of Police Boards, a new awards. Oh, sorry. Apologies. Director Modell.
Sorry, my mouse went off and I was trying to find my way here. Thank you, Madam Chair. I had one quick question on the independent investigation report is why it was so hard to get human capital shortage and hire people. Was it the pay grade or was it just shortage of staff, Chief?
Yes, I can't speak in detail for the IIO, but it's my understanding that they're, like many law enforcement related agencies, they're challenged in hiring. That's the issue.
Thank you. So the second one is the launch of the British Columbia Association of Police Boards new awards program. Melissa, can you speak to that?
Thank you, Chair Locke. So I'll introduce us and Shaney, Director Cloak as the rep on the BCAPB if you have anything you want to add as well. So the BCAPB determined that it was appropriate to offer awards through the BCAPB to police officers and civilian staff for each department. And so they identified 3 categories: community-driven recognition, supporting governance, and excellence and innovation. So the information is attached in this report for your awareness. And if the board chooses to participate and identify members and civilian staff in the SPS, that we would need to send some financial support in order to accommodate that.
Any questions or comments, directors? Director Broussard?
Thanks, Madam Chair. And to Melissa, I believe, is there a recommendation coming forward that we support this or just for information today?
It's for information today. Perhaps I can recommend it be referred to Governance Committee for a decision for the board for February.
Okay, thank you.
Director Center, did you have a question?
Thank you, Madam Chair. That was my question. So on that, I guess it will just go. We don't need a motion on that.
Okay, I've seen no correspondence and no new business. The next meeting of the Surrey Police Board will be February the 22nd, 2023. Oh, sorry. Director Broussard?
Thanks. Is Director Cloak going to speak to the awards program, or was that the report?
Thanks, Mina. Thanks, Chair. I didn't have anything else to add, but if you would like me to follow up with more information, I'm absolutely happy to do so.
Okay. So the next meeting of the Surrey Police Board will be held on February the 22nd, 2023. Now I'm going to ask for a motion to hold the meeting in closed. I could have a motion, please, directors. Thank you, Director Broussard. Second, Director Caruana. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And a motion to adjourn, and I think we'll take 5 minutes between this meeting and the next one, if you will. Thank you.